I think we probably should. Now, you'll have noticed that Keith and I were discussing the notion of Throathit. And like me in my early days, and I'm sure Rusty will remember this and a fair few others as well, I had no clue what people meant by Throathit, and it wasn't until it wasn't exactly so much explained as demonstrated and explained, at which point in time I actually got a clue, which is a bit of a first. And it's all about that sensation at the back of the throat that lets you know that something is happening. It's very, very difficult to put into words, but I suppose the easiest way of explaining it to somebody that's never had a cigar or a pipe is it's what it feels like when you inhale a cigar or a pipe. That's extreme Throathit. But one of the things that I've discovered is that Throathit outdoors seems somehow lessened. And while videos are in the process of working, let's jump to this one. And I'm waving this about for a reason, because this kind of answers the question. But fingers crossed this one plays, and let's see where we go. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good day, if you're Australian, which I'm not. Outdoors and Throathit. There was a conversation a few days ago about Throathit outdoors and how you don't get the same feeling out of an e-cig outside that you do when you're indoors. And I've noticed this a lot. If you're outside, you take a drag on your e-cig and you kind of just don't get that kick, tickle experience in the back of your throat, whichever way you want to put it. It just doesn't happen, or at least not to the same extent. And I must admit it had me perturbed a little bit for quite a while, but the answer is in my hand, and it's that. Now this has come from UK-Eliquids.co.uk. Ben, lovely Ben, and this is a dual coil cartomizer, but the Mega, the XL, the one that Kat and Sav looked at the other day, which takes anywhere between 3.5 and 5 mil. And to be honest, I'm not going to quibble about how much it takes, because that's not what this is all about. What this is all about is the fact that very shortly I should be travelling to foreign climes, don't you know, and speaking a little bit of Spanish, and I'll be spending a lot of time outdoors, and I'm going to want to feel what I'm doing. Otherwise there's certain temptations might occur which I don't want to give in to. So I've put this on the Provari, and I've used an Ego adapter on the Provari in order to be able to get it there, and I'm running it at 3.7 volts at the moment. So I'm just going to take a talk and tell you what the Throathit's like. And that's quite nice, but it's not as big a Throathit as I was just getting off the exact same piece of kit in the house. And just so everybody knows, it's RY4 36 milligram that's in there. So I'm going to up the voltage a little bit to 4.2. Let's see if I can see. The light is incredibly strong out here, it's lovely. 4.2 volts, 4.2 volts. Let's give it a try. That's a fully charged 18650. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. Yes, that's indoors Throathit, that is. That is lush. Now, I should tell you that at 4.2 volts, a couple of days ago when this arrived, I had such a coughing fit while I was talking to Kat and Sav on Skype. It really bangs it home. But outdoors, it's bang on, it's exactly where you want it. And as you can see, it produces like a steam train on full afterburner. I have to say, mightily impressed. This thing has now had 3 refills. I've put 15 mils ish, between 12 and 15 mils through it since I got it. And Ben, if you're in the chat room, make sure you've got 10. Send me the bill. I want 10, please. I need 10. They are going to go away with me to the land of the incredibly hot temperatures, and they're going to get used. Now, I should also say that it runs extremely nicely. There you are, the adapter in the Throathit, don't you know? They run extremely nicely on a bog standard Ego. So if I go out on a night, that's perfectly acceptable. Absolutely bang on. These are lush. I was going to take 25 Cartos, you know, the Ego Cartos with me, but I think 11 of these, that's this one and the 10 that I'm ordering off Ben. Serious, I want the 10, I need the 10, I can't do without them. Lush, just lush. We usually do reviews where we say, would I buy them again? Yes, obviously, I'm ordering 10. These are cracking, absolutely cracking. And I've not managed to make this one die yet. I mean, I'm not going to push it to the death because obviously I need as many as I can get. But this really is nice. It's very, and the flavour's lush as well. So there you have it. David Dawn, here's our, beside the buddleia tree. Back to the studio. Yes, I'll just cut that off. Excuse me, you should know that the music for that piece was provided by a band of good mates of mine by the name of Cardinal Sin, S-Y-N-N-E. Look them up if you're into metal. Shifty, the lead singer, has got one of them screamy voices, and John, the lead guitarist, he's brilliant. Brilliant guitarist. Love him. Great drummer in Dave as well, but not this Dave. It's another Dave with a beard. Bass player's canny and all. Apparently the ladies swoon over him. But back to the plot. These mega cartomizers that have come out from Ben at UK-Eliquid, I was not joking in that piece. These, I'm definitely ordering 10 of them. Got to have them because the fill, now alright, the original Farto, you could fill with a hypodermic through the little hole at the top, or you could drip down the sides, or you could squirt it up its jacksy and all that kind of stuff. But it was messy. It was a faff. It was a fart and a clart and a carry on is the phrase that we use in my part of the world. And last year when I went across, I think I took 40 or 50 with me of the Fartos, and I kind of got to the stage where I just kept on using new ones rather than try to refill all the time. And I think I ended up bringing about 5 back. Because I have to admit, I don't get through quite as much juice when I'm on holiday because it's much more relaxed and I don't feel the need for it. And anyway, it's difficult to suck on one of these things when you've got a litre of beer in your hand. And let's face it, you've got to have a litre of beer in your hand when it's hot. You've got to keep hydrated. No, none of this water. You know what fish do in water, don't you? It's got to be bad for you. It can't be good for you. But back to the plot. Easy, really, to fill. It just needs a little bit of patience. And it's the old drip it in while you're rotating on an angle routine. That's all it is. And when it starts to pool on the top, leave it alone. Shouldn't drip out the bottom. Stick a couple of drops more in and then put this delightful rubber tip on. It's so soft and pliable. Really very nice. And yes, it goes like a steam train. I've hardly been able to put it down all day. I'm now running it at 3 volts, 3.3 volts on the Provari. And it does the job so nicely. I can't wait for Monday because I believe the vapor mists have got some of these, and I want to see what happens to James Dorinthium when Andy gives him it at 5 volts. Because if he thought the Throathit out of a standard dual coil cartomizer was heavy, I want to see the look on his face, because that's got to go on YouTube. It's going to be brilliant. I tell you, when I was talking with Kat and Sav, I mean, they're in the chat room, they'll tell you about this. I was having coughing fits left, right and centre because I just clagged it straight onto the Provari. I think it was set at 4.5. I never think about checking the voltage on this thing. Clagged it on, I'd filled it up, took a draw, and it was like a journey into space. It was. I actually got a buzz. For the first time in a long time, I got a buzz and a bit of a head rush. And just this lovely, massive, big Throathit. And I thought, whoa, hang on a minute. This might be the answer to my outdoor prayers. And it's going to be. Do you know, it confuses me, does this, because for the life of me, I can't understand why the Throathit is less outside than it is inside, unless it's something to do with temperature. The temperature of the air that you're dragging in alongside the vapour. I don't know. I just don't know. But, of course, I'm going to have these in a place where, well, last year, the average temperature for the first 10 days we were there was 42 degrees centigrade or Fahrenheit, which the foreign one. And, yeah, so that's kind of warmer than we'll have the house because, you know, it's 23 degrees in here. Well, it's a little bit warmer in here because of the lights and what have you. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if I end up having to keep them down at 3.3 volts, I absolutely shall let you know. Because I intend to video some stuff over there, and I'll fill you in a little bit more on that. But these mega super duper 3.5 to 5 mil, somewhere in that range, Cartos, dual coil Cartos. Yes, would I buy them? Well, as you've seen, I'm ordering 10. Need them. Got to have them. They are really, really good. They are really, really good. And I really, really like them. And as I said, the flavour is really good. In fact, the whole experience. This is, you know how we're always looking at new stuff and stuff like that, and you kind of want to like it, you know, because it's kind of, you feel you want to like stuff because it's new and because it's so on and so forth. I didn't have to want to like this. I just do. It's rare you'll find me just coming out with a totally opinionated thing, but in my opinion, this is one of the best new things in the old cartridge and cartomizer and atomizer range that I've seen this year. It's up there in my top 3. So take that for what it's worth. That either means something to you or it doesn't. But yes, I like these. I like these a lot. And you will excuse me if I take a talk. Now, you know fine well we can't do whiteouts on here. That was at 3.3 volts. It wasn't a particularly long talk, and you can see it just bangs it out. These are cracking. Great buy-in.